Lost. Douglas gazed over his barren, empty fields, illuminated by the moonlight. Shivering in the bitter cold of the Scottish winter, he was overcome by fear. For the second year his crop had failed, and now his cattle were gone, and the grass on which they had grazed was burned to ash. Maxwell had warned him that if he didn't deliver the barley within 2 weeks, he would lose everything. But Douglas didn't think he would actually go through with it. Besides, he barely had enough to feed his family. In times like these, paying reavers for protection wasn't an option. Without his cattle, his children would starve. Ashamed and fearful, Douglas turned around and walked back to the house. The wooden ladder creaked as he climbed up to the second level. His 6 children lay sleeping on the floor, huddled together for warmth. His wife stood alone holding a candle, while she watched the children as they slept. With the candle shining dimly, her pale face had an eerie yellow glow, the only thing in the dark Bassel house that could be seen clearly. As Douglas stood up, her piercing green eyes hit him. "Where have you been? I've been worried sick. I thought you'd abandoned us." "I couldn't sleep," Douglas replied. "I went out to the fields to check on the cattle. I thought I heard noises." He paused. "They're gone, Catherine. Maxwell wasn't kidding when he said they'd take them." "What?" she hissed. "You let the raiders take the one thing that was keeping this family alive?" Douglas looked away in shame. "It's time for you to man up and take back what is ours. Come back with your cattle, or don't come back at all." Douglas climbed down to the bottom level and untied his horse. With no steel bonnet, no border lance, all he had was an axe. Petrified, he mounted the horse before his courage was lost and rode into the darkness. As his companion galloped along the dirt road, adrenaline pumped through his veins. He grounded the horse to a halt when they reached the Maxwell castle. With the moon obscured by clouds, the castle was in complete darkness. Douglas could only see the faint outline of the stone building. Clutching his axe, he slowly crept towards the wall of the castle, trying to do so as quietly as possible despite the rocks crunching underneath his feet. Suddenly, he heard voices murmuring. He rushed up to the wall and stood still, listening and waiting. The whispers quickly escalated into shouts. In the commotion, Douglas walked around to the stable of the seemingly unsuspecting and vulnerable raiders. As he entered the stable, he heard a faint noise behind him. Before he could turn around, he felt a knife pressed against his neck and a man's breath on his ear as he stood behind him. "You should never have come here," a deep voice growled.
Please hang up and try again.